What if the answers you're searching for are already within you? Here at Richer Within, we believe they are, and we're here to help you discover them. I'm Kathryn, joined by Dynamo Dr. Pat. Together, we blend science and spirituality to guide you in reconnecting with your inner wisdom and unique magnificence. Tune in for inspiring stories and practical strategies to boost clarity, embrace your worth, and spark meaningful change. Ready to unlock your inner wealth? Start your transformation now.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Pat. We have a great show for you today, a lot to cover, and I want to get right into it, Kathryn. This episode is called Beyond the Resolution. I love Beyond the Resolution Fizzle. Set evolutionary intentions. I'm having a hard problem with this because when I was practicing this morning, I just kept saying beyond the resolution fizzle, tap into the 2026 sizzle. So that was my take on this morning. I don't know what time in the morning this was, but this is a show where we really do need to talk about a dynamic that happens so often for so many people. But the question mark is why? Is it because we just have gotten used to the fizzle? We expect the fizzle, or we just don't have enough tools? So let me turn this over to you, because here we are in the new year. We get these resolutions, and I don't know, did you make any?
I almost titled this the intention sizzle. So we're in line as usual. So I actually did not make any resolutions, and I don't make resolutions anymore. I set intentions, and I already have two for this year, and I want to just jump in and share what they are. At the spiritual center where I go to, every year they give out this thing called the Word, and it is wrapped in gift wrapping. So the giver doesn't know what the person they're giving it to is going to get. And it's a word. It's like a quality, it's an experience. For example, it could be harmony, it could be healing, it could be abundance, all those types of things. And so when I opened up my word on Christmas morning, I was like, wow, because it's believe. And
Wow.
it resonated with me so deeply for a couple of reasons. One of them is that, well, last year's word was birth. And wow, did I birth a big thing when I signed up with you, Dr. Pat, together. What an incredible journey. And I'll also confess that along that journey, I had my own doubts and I had my own times of, who am I to be thinking I can be doing this? A little skepticism would creep in every now and then. And then, of course, it was a bit of the world felt a bit chaotic, to say the least. And so to receive this word believe was just like, yes. And so the intention that I created around believe is I believe more good is unfolding than I can even imagine, individually and collectively. And so it doesn't mean that I ignore or minimize what's happening for myself or with others. It means that I practice this intention regardless. So then a week later, I was at an intention setting ceremony. And while I was discerning what I wanted to release, it was this sense of hardness that I felt around things that I was doing and kind of hard and being kind of hard on my physical body and got to work out this much and this many miles and just an overall sense of being a bit hard on myself and being in the world and rushing around. And so what came to me was my intention is I allow ease of body, mind, and being. So there's the three E's in believe. So I have believing and then believing to allow in that ease of body and ease of mind and ease of being. So can you kind of sense how these intentions differ a bit from resolution?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love this because this deal here, what we're talking about, and before the break, people, someday we got to record all the outtakes. But one of the things we were talking about, which I was struck by, I woke up very early this morning. I turn on my TV, I plug into a bunch of things I listen to, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care who it is. If I hear something, it's like I'm listening. But one of the things I hit, and let's talk about this belief, right? And I want to talk about the strength of the belief because there's belief, and then there's like in my crust busting stuff, I talk about conviction. And so, what you're talking about is if we come out of the gate with this, then we build, we can accelerate, we build, we don't have disappointment. We don't have, well, I'm not going to say we don't have doubt. I'll speak for myself on that. But this is a miraculous understanding, isn't it?
It is miraculous understanding. And you know what? It works. It works. So it can work for you. It can work for everybody listening. And the thing about belief is overall, our brains actually look for confirmations of our beliefs. So let me share what happened since I set those intentions just a month ago, right? Because it's incredible. I made a list. There's so many things.
Oh my goodness.
So this is without setting goals. This is without figuring out the how. That's the other thing about broad intentions is we don't have to figure out the how. So on Sunday, January 11th, a really close minister friend of mine gave an incredibly empowering message at my center on belief. Then I came across this card from 2020 that I was using as a bookmark, and it has belief in it in bold, bright letters 3 times. Then I'm seeing communities rallying to support their neighbors and standing up for what they believe across the country. And then I learned that young people have picked up what they call grandma hobbies in droves because they're craving hands-on activities that don't involve any screen time, like knitting and puzzles and scrapbooking, which actually these activities activate your parasympathetic nervous system. I don't know if they know this, but it's like, wow, yes, I can believe that things can change for good. There's maybe less screen addiction going to be happening. And then around the E's, I got this daily Buddha calendar from a friend. And the first little thing that I read was, we don't need to live our lives in a constant state of busyness. Huh. Ease. And then I'm trying to do not trying, easily, one thing at a time. I don't need to look at my text while I'm walking up the stairs from my car to my house.
Oh,
Right.
no,
You
you don't
know,
want to do
I, right?
that.
I stopped working after 5. I'm taking full days off. I decreased my information and media consumption by about half. I naturally started driving only maybe sometimes 5 miles an hour over the speed limit instead of about 9. I actually spent almost 2 weeks in mostly silence, cut way back on social events. I'm easier on my body physically, allowing myself to sleep in like 9 hours. A beautiful song that I heard a long time ago returned to my memory without prompting. I love my body, my beautiful body. So I'm singing that to myself. So overall, this is the power that we open ourselves to because of that difference between resolutions and intentions. Now, intentions are really well-meaning and they work well for some people, and there's nothing wrong with them. And then for many, they simply fizzle. That resolution fizzle and rather quickly. And that can be really disappointing and really frustrating. And for me, they tend towards things like fixing something that I don't like about myself, some perceived flaw, right? And there's judgment in there. It can be rigid, becomes a checklist, a to-do list. And how much do we really like to-do lists? And I can be hard on myself in trying to reach that and get that goal, get that finite goal. And especially if I don't achieve them. And I have a feeling this resonates with a few people around these
Yeah,
resolutions, and it becomes
yeah.
a resistance, right? Whereas the intentions, I like to call them evolutionary intentions because, the universe is constantly evolving, so let's evolve with it. These are ways of being. These are qualities that we want to experience or larger experiences that we want to have. And so there are infinite possibilities for those around ease of body, mind, and spirit, right? So we follow that intention like a north star. Always there, even if it's cloudy, it's always there to guide us. These intentions are always there to guide us, to guide our thoughts and our actions and our beliefs. And so this evolutionary intention is really a heartfelt commitment to how we want to live our lives, the kind of life we want to create, how we want to evolve at a deep level. And it's not just a
Yeah.
go-to.
Yeah. I am really struck, and I know we have talked about this previous show, but I'm going to mention it because, this is something you're now going to talk about. I'm so struck by the two words intention. I know this is going to sound, it's going to sound so, and intuition. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just so struck about the energetic blueprint of those two things. And I can't help, as you're speaking, this notion of how you went through your process. And please share this creative process, because as you went through it, it's almost as if you had that inner knowing that you had to do something different. No resolutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing we don't do. I was reading this morning a little bit out of this book that I like, this thing called You. And, the section had to do with the law of perfection, about the law of perfect action. And it goes on to talk about this. But you see, what you're talking about is giving us all a break from ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, because it's not about willpower. It's about aligning ourselves with the power that is already within us. And you're right on about the intuition and intention because it is in. The first two letters are in, within. And so when we come to this place of discernment, what it is for us rather than what other people tell us they think we ought to be doing with our lives, we are living authentically. Yeah. And we are aligning ourselves with that creative power. And so to get to this, what you just brought up about the creative process, we live in this infinite field of intelligence. Some people call it the infinite field of potentiality, call it the quantum field, whatever you call it. We all live inside this thing, within it. There is nothing within it, exterior to it. There is one thing going on here, and it is this infinite intelligence. And by that intelligence, I mean, like, I didn't figure out how to bloom an orchid. I didn't figure out how to put all the crystals together to make a snowflake, nor could I. I didn't figure out how to put this grand cosmos in all of its spins and all of its galaxies and stars. This is the infinite intelligence that I'm talking about. And we are of that. And within this intelligence is a creative process. And it works all the time, whether we're aware of it or not. So why not use it? This is process. And it is the easiest way to think about it comes from nature. Yeah. If you think about a plant, what does it take to get a plant? You have a seed, you have soil, and then you have the plant. Well, for us, the seed is our idea, our inspiration, our intention. And the soil is our beliefs, our thoughts, our actions, all of these come together to birth that flower, that rose, that whatever it is that our intention is. And so it is exactly the same process. We are planting these things as seeds in the mind of consciousness itself, where there are infinite possibilities that reveal. And think of it in ways of seed, soil, plant. The saying, thoughts become things. Thought is the seed, become is the soil of our mind, our being, and then the plant is the outcome. Some people call it the law of attraction. Some people call it the law of cause and effect. It definitely works all the time. And so this intention is really a declaration to the universe or to this universal field of intelligence about what we desire to experience or create. And then that becomes an act of co-creation where we harness this creative process to manifest our intentions. And we spend very little attention on the how. We don't micromanage the universe. How many of us like to be micromanaged?
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to micromanage the universe. We embody what it is and allow ourselves to be guided by our intentions like that North Star, and then the universe does the rest.
Yeah. This is why this is such an important conversation, because resolutions really take us to that whole place of control.
Mm,
Just the
yeah,
word in itself
yeah.
is driving something that forces us down a pathway to achieve something that maybe we didn't anticipate what we were going to come at. And then we don't know how to pivot. So what you're talking about is you're walking us through an understanding of what this means. But also, can you touch upon something? Because this is the part that was so left out when the movie The Secret came out, and it was the connection emotionally. That
Yeah.
was the thing that I think was, not on purpose, but I think we've evolved in our understanding. Where does emotion, connection, and intention come together?
Emotion is key because think of emotion. Emotions are energy in motion. Everything in this universe is energy. Einstein, everything is energy. This is science. This is also very mystical. If you think about it, it's both, right? Because everything is vibrating at different frequencies. And this is what we pick up as we're walking around the world and what other people pick up from us. And so our emotions are so key because they are a big part of that vibratory field that we create around ourselves, hence that law of attraction, right? Hence all of, I mean, it's so crazy because you can have a guitar on one side of the room and another on the other. And if you hit the E string on one of the guitars, that other string on the guitar without being touched, that E string will begin to vibrate. That is the power of vibration and the power of our emotions. So when we're setting the intentions, it is important, so important and fun to feel, to get that sense, that inner sense of what does it feel like when when that is, what does that love feel like? What does that abundance feel like? What does that joy feel like? What does that profound uh, experience that I desire to create, what does that feel like? That creates it's a signal. It is a signal. And this is a receptive universe. It's like tuning into the radio that you want to hear. And that radio wants to hear you too, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big part of the how of setting these evolutionary intentions is really, again, like you were saying, it's an intention, our intention for ourselves, guided by our inner wisdom, our inner wealth of wisdom, as I like to say. And we figure out sometimes it takes a little bit of what's not working to determine how would it be if it was to work and set our intention that way. What is it that I'm experiencing? What do I want to experience? And then from that place, a positive framing, right? We don't say, my intention is to not be anxious. we say, I intend to cultivate calmness or something similar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's, yes, the
yeah,
emotional connection. And thank you for
yeah,
saying that. And
yeah,
then, and then, and then that clarity that we have around that, and it becomes our mantra. We can repeat it to ourselves every morning, every night before we go to sleep. You'd be the attention sandwich, right? Anytime during the day or night. Remember and have that be our North Star for the thoughts that we choose, and catch ourselves if we're thinking something that is not in alignment with our intentions. It guides our decision making. Does this decision serve my overall intention? It is really this guiding light, and really believing in its power. It's incredible how powerful we are when we are linked with this.
yeah. And you know what I love about it is that we have a heightened level of awareness. You know, there's the logical brain that sometimes will get you from A to B. But when you want to go exponentially to B square, you
Mhm.
need that extra something. And it doesn't just mean the day-to-day things we do in life, whether you're a musician, an artist, it doesn't matter what you do.
Mhm.
There's that extra thing that it is, you can't see it, but it is this combination of emotion, belief together. And
Mhm.
that is the thing that sometimes gets you to that point where
Mhm.
you can move through it with ease and grace. And that's the difference between, for me, when I get the energy of an intention and the energy of a resolution, the energy of a resolution is not like ease and grace.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, that's kind of a sigh, like, oh yeah, I got to do that for the resolution, where that intention is so juicy.
Yeah.
It's so juicy. And I just like to really quickly give a really powerful example. One of the most incredible experiences I had from setting intention was when I became licensed as a practitioner. Towards the end, we created an intention statement for what how we were to serve in the world. And my intention, and here's I went back and read it again, is to specialize in working with artists and performers who desire to take their creativity, expression, and personal lives to amazing heights. In other words, working with the stars, which is in alignment with my cosmic spirituality and passion for the cosmos. It's not about the celebrity. It's just more of a metaphor. But anyway, I had been attending Agape International Spiritual Center in Los Angeles because Reverend Michael Beckwith is one of my spiritual teachers, and they have a lot of performing artists there. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll spend part of the time here and part of the time in Oregon. Well, I'm going to need a place to stay. Then I ran into a woman on the beach who needs a house sitter while she's traveling. Okay. And then I'm like, well, gosh, I wonder about the Grammy Awards, performing artists. I find this thing called seat fillers. Anybody can be a seat filler. You sign up online, by the way, they're looking for people this year for February 1st, to fill in seats during the live show. I ended up, Dr. Pat, 3 rows from the front of the stage.
Wow.
And afterwards, I went, okay, universe, what's next? I was on my own. Like, what's next? What's after the show? Run into a person on the street selling a $40 ticket to the official after party. So this is an example. I could not have made that up. I could
Right.
not, this is the beyond things that I can imagine and that I believe. And this is accessible to everyone through these intentions. And they don't uplift just you, they inspire everyone around you to live more intentionally. And what a world it will be, I believe, when we live from intention. Evolutionary intention. Bring it on. Let's
Yeah.
do that. Sizzle.
Yeah. And you know what I love about it? There's no real limit. See, the thing with the resolution is you don't want to do too many because you think you won't get them done. Intention is limitless. Do you know what
Yes,
I'm trying to say?
I do.
There's such a contrast once we could get the handle on this. What's your personal message? What do we want to leave everyone with today?
We want to leave everybody with an empowered desire and devotion to yourself to set one heartfelt intention, follow it like your North Star, and just watch how its evolutionary power unfolds beyond your imagination and accept it. Allow it. This is your spiritual birthright. And I
I love it.
affirm that for everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for pointing things out to all of us today, because we can pivot anytime. I love the expression, start my day over, start your year over, because you can do this anytime and recreate that thing you truly want to see, just the way Kathryn Richard just did it at the Grammys. Are you going this year?
Not this year. I have
Uh,
another occasion on February 1st.
Okay, very good. But I'm going to look into that, Kathryn. Thank you so much. Tell people how they can find out more about you and how they can work with you, please.
Absolutely. You can contact me directly through email at richerwithin@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram and a beautiful website at richerwithin.com. Love to hear from you. Love to just shine along with everyone else.
And let's do that together, everybody. I'm really inviting all of you. Remember, if you really are at that place where you got the fizzle going on, flip it over to intention and experience the sizzle. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for investing in yourself by listening to Richer Within with me, Kathryn, and Dr. Pat. Continue this journey with us every third Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Feeling inspired? Visit richerwithin.com to explore one-on-one sessions, speaking engagements, and supportive services with me. Together, let's co-create a world that uplifts everyone through deeper living and conscious presence. Until next time, and always, align with your inner wealth of wisdom. Wow.